Happy Sunday, everybody. It is, I think, Sunday, March 5th. I could be wrong on the date, but it doesn't matter because you'll be viewing this in the future anyway. So this is the first in a series of videos about this really cool ring that I bought at auction. And when I show you the ring, I hope that you guys think it's awesome because I do. So this was on MissouriHighBidAuctions.com because I live in St. Louis. So rather than going to Auction Zip, if I want to not pay for shipping, I'll look for local auctions, and I can still do that on Auction Zip, but I'm discovering there are separate websites other than Auction Zip that are for local auctions as well. So one of those is MissouriHighBidAuctions.com, and those are all within driving distance from me. I can set the radius to wherever, 50 miles from my zip code I'm willing to pick up. So I save a ton of money on shipping. So one of the things I got was this really cool skull ring, and it's a vintage sterling silver skull ring. Let me show you. Okay, so here's the box, and this was done, I forget the name of the auction house, but I think it's actually Antique to Modern Auction, and I think this is in O'Fallon, Missouri. Now, this ring I spent quite a bit on this, and my hope is to quadruple or higher than quadruple my money on this, and I think I'm going to sell it on Etsy. So here's the big reveal. So this is an antique sterling silver skull ring. Now, I did a ton of research on this before I bid, and there is nothing like this anywhere on the internet. And you can just see it's got this patina on it, this sterling silver, almost yellow looking gold parts of it. You know what I mean? Like the shimmer, the finish has this slightly warm feel to it, which is indicative of sterling silver. Plus on the inside, it's stamped silver, which is different from when modern will type 0.925. This is just marked silver, which means that in the research that I did is that this probably came out of Mexico or something, because that's something that used to happen, how they used to mark metals in Mexico. I could be completely wrong. That was with my limited research on that part of this. But if you look closely, the listing said possibly rubies in the eyes. Now, I didn't bid based on that. I bid based on the unique look and feel. Everyone wants to have a cool skull ring. I'm going to market this on Etsy as a men's statement ring, and it would fit on most men's pinkies. I believe this is a size 9, which is what the box said. But the real kicker was finding out what these gems are. And so I took it to a local jeweler, and he took one look at it and said, no, these aren't real, they're manufactured. Which makes me wonder if these are, because people started being able to make manufacture gems in the late 1800s. So these could be manufactured gems from the early 1900s to mid 1900s, which would still add a bit of value to them, but they're not rubies, they're not garnets. And I don't think you can see it on camera, but if you look closely, you can see that one of these is chipped. One of these gems is chipped. So I think it's just glass, because rubies are extremely hard. And so now what my plan is one of my friends is a jeweler, and I have asked her to source and replace these for me. Now, before I do that, I need to measure the millimeter length of these. And also before I do that, I'm thinking that I might chip these out myself, because what I'm thinking of doing is taking this ring and making a mold of it, and then buying a little jewelry making set where I can melt down precious metals for a couple $100, and then making a mold of this and mass producing this exact ring. And that would mean I would need to learn how to inlay jewels like this, which shouldn't be too difficult, but I would need to chip these out first before I actually did that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the millimeter length of the gems, and I'm going to let my friend know, and then ask her if it would be safe for me to chip out the existing, glass gem settings, or if that's something that she would do. I just don't want to mail it back and forth. I'd like to be able to take this and make a mold of it and then send it off to her. Anyway, this is part 1 in that series, and I will let you guys know. Hopefully you can watch along and see the progress of this. Again, I'm going to be taking this, having the gems replaced, possibly making a mold of this so I can reproduce this and have an Etsy listing. This itself will be sold on Etsy, but I'm going to hopefully put rubies or garnets in there. I'm not sure how much rubies cost. I'm not sure how much really, really small rubies like this cost. You know, no idea. We'll see.